Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the third wave of Armada Clone Wars. You're probably thinking, wait a second, we just got this first wave of Armada Clone Wars. We don't even have an announcement for the second wave. Why are you talking about the third wave? I'm going to get into all of that because there have been some definitive breadcrumbs and tracks that have been put into some of these products to kind of give us some insight into the things that are coming. And we're going to be talking about that today. If you guys are new here, do want to let you know we're doing 12 Days of Life Day all month long. I'm actually going to be announcing one of the winners for the second day of Life Day. There'll be 12 giveaways that happen all this month. I usually announce winners towards the end of my videos, so make sure you watch all the way to the end. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment if you want to enter to have a chance to win one of these awesome, mysterious giveaways. These are different than my normal everyday giveaways because I don't announce in advance what you're going to get. Might be a gift card, might be some physical goods that I mail you. Who knows? Who knows? It's going to be a magical life day. So what are we talking about today? So, all right, let me get back onto the track of this. We're talking about some Wave 3 stuff. So, we just got Armada Clone Wars in hand, and of course, it's the launch wave for Armada Clone Wars. We didn't get anything for the Rebels of the Empire here outside of the upgrade card pack and, well, the dial pack. That's really going to be for newer players. But we did have from Gen Con some leaks, well, not really leaks, but really a spoilery image here that shows us the Venator and a Pelta are going to be coming for the next wave of Armada Clone Wars. So whether or not you're going to call this Armada Clone Wars Wave 2, or you just kind of go back to the whole Armada as a whole, and I think this would be Wave 10. Right? But this isn't even what I'm talking about today. I'm just I'm painting the picture and building us forward. And of course, we got the Recusant and the Invisible Hand for the for the Separatists. Now, the one thing about this is going to kind of round out these fleets a little bit more. They won't be complete at this point, but with each faction having 4 different ships, and with the diversity we've already seen between the 2 different ship types, I think you're going to have pretty decent, like better factions that can stand alone a little bit more and potentially stand up to the diversity that the Rebels and the Empire have, getting closer to that level. But I want to talk about what comes after this. Now, I know that there's a lot of questions with Atomic Mass Games taking over Armada as well as all of the other Star Wars miniatures games. And, of course, that could obviously have something to do with all of this. I feel like, however, we'll at least get one more wave before any major changes happen. Because for them to have spoiled this already, I feel like that the whatever comes after this was already somewhere already in the pipeline. Like I feel like there's already there's far enough plans. We know that there was this 3-year plan, and so I feel like a lot of work has probably already been done on that. Now, what is it, right? What do I have? Well, here's where we get into the meat of this video, and that third wave, which again, for clarification's sake, is not this. Right, that next third wave, or what might be Armada Wave 11, is we've got a couple of treats. We got a couple of breadcrumbs that have been deliberately placed, and they're really on the front of the Learn to Play book that you might have in your Armada pack. All right, if you've got one of the new starters, you could probably get one of the new Learn to Play books. It's really cool art. Now, I couldn't find this art in the digital format, so I actually had to take a photo and kind of put it up here, so it doesn't look, as nice as I'd like it to look. I would love to actually get the digital version of this that I could get in really high resolution and zoom in a little bit more. But there's a lot of key information here. The first one is, what's that? What's this thing right here? What is this little guy right there? Well, that's Anakin Skywalker in his Eta Tu Actis with R2-D2, by the way, with R2-D2 in there. So we've got Anakin. All right. No, we've already got Anakin in a squadron in the game. Okay, yeah, he's in a Y-wing, and maybe not the best place for him. He's certainly great in the Y-wing, but we got something else. We don't have Eta 2s in the game. We don't have the Eta Tu Actis in the game yet, and they haven't been announced. Like, look, let's go back. Do you see any squadron packs in this spoilery image? This is why I talked about these images. You think I'm just trying to drag the video out? There's a point. There's a method to all of this. To my entire line of speculatory inquisition. Nobody expects a lightsaber nunchuck inquisition, least of all Fantasy Flight Games. But yeah. we've got this ETA 2 right smack in the middle of the cover. Now, of course, obviously, you're going to think, oh, this is just, the Battle of Coruscant. This is, this is the opening of Episode 3. And sure, it sure is. They didn't have to go with that one. They didn't have to put, well, the maybe the most popular, squadron, or small ship type, fighter ship that isn't even in the game and isn't even announced right on the cover. So I think that being front and center is very particular. There's a very deliberate meaning for this. So I think that's definitely a big thing that's coming. So what does this mean? This means we're getting more squadrons. Now, that's probably not too much of a stretch of the imagination. If you've been playing Armada, if you followed the release, patterns of how things have come out, 2 waves go by and you get another squadron pack. That seems reasonable, or squadrons in some form. Whether or not we get, Republic Squadrons 2 and then Separatist Squadrons 2, or maybe we get something like, a dual squadron pack that has a little bit for both factions. We kind of had that with the Rogues and Villains squadron pack, something like that. So we don't know. And of course, there's also always that distinct possibility that they bundle a squadron or 2 with a ship. That happened, of course, with the Chimera expansion, where we had those Gauntlet fighters that were bundled with the Chimera. And then all of a sudden, now we've got an extra squadron that comes with a ship, and that's the only way to get it. So that's an interesting thing. And that, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Some people might complain is like, hey, I want my squadrons. I don't want to have to buy a ship I don't want just for the squadrons. And so maybe they won't do that. I'm not really sure. But there's lots of different ways they can give us squadrons. And, I feel like they could go a lot of different ways with something like this, because I feel like we've got most of the Separatist, at least fighters, small fighters that we're likely to get. And I think that, like this one, I think there's kind of maybe an off balance, and they could do this in a number of different ways. And I think one of the ways they'll have to do is they'll have to add those irregular squadrons, some of the bigger ones, to something like this, whether they're doing certain bounty hunter ships like Jango Fett's Slave 1, or if they're going to do the Darth Maul in the Scimitar or something like that. Like they could do a lot of those type of things. They could certainly do the Twilight and some of the slightly larger ships. There's a lot of potential candidates out there in the Clone Wars, plus shuttles for both sides. So there's a lot of options. Another thing I want to point out here is the Discord missiles that are tracking down Anakin Skywalker. You can see 2 of them, one on the bottom and one on the top of that image. Those are prominently featured in X-Wing, but you may remember them from the video or the opening movie sequence from Episode 3, where they kind of impact and the little buzz droids kind of jump out and get all over the fighter. That makes me think that when we get our next squadron pack, or at least by the time we get the ETA 2 in whatever form we get the ETA 2 in, we're going to have some kind of Discord missile buzz droid type of mechanic in the game, whether it's an upgrade that ships get, whether it's a new squadron type that specifically has some kind of token or something that goes onto a squadron and continues to do damage to it, because we haven't seen anything like that in Armada yet, but they do have that design philosophy in X-Wing of the droid that attaches itself to an enemy ship and will continue to do damage. So that is definitely another kind of a two-parter here for this opening image. But another thing I want to talk about is if we zoom in on this picture a little bit closer, there's an awful lot of Lucre Hulks in the background. And we get 2 featured right here. One, and this other one's kind of hidden behind the Venator with some explosions going on. But there's Lucre Hulks plenty in this picture, and they usually don't put something like this on the cover to the rulebook if they're not going to put them in the game, and they usually don't put stuff in the art as prominently featured as the Lucre Hulks are. I mean, they're all over the place if they're not coming in soon. And so if they're coming soon, I think the 3rd wave of Clone Wars, or the Wave 11 of Star Wars Armada as a whole, would be a excellent time to bring in the Lucre Hulk. Whether or not the Lucre Hulk's going to come in as a large ship or a huge ship does kind of remain to be seen. I'm still hoping for the side-by-side base ever since we saw that rules reference entry for the Lucrehulk, and or not for the Lucrehulk, but for the huge ships, that it's just 2 bases. Doesn't say they have to be forward. It allows the possibility of them to be side by side, which I think is super cool. So really hoping to see the Lucrehulk, and in that next wave. It's been featured lately in so many pieces of artwork, in multiple versions of the Lucrehulk also. Now, the interesting thing about the Lucrehulk too is, and I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think, if they were to do a Lucrehulk in this game. And again, if you're not sure which ship I'm talking about here, it's the donut ship, the big bad Trade Federation ship from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. There's a couple of different designs or paint schemes for the Lucrehulk, right? You have the plain white one that you saw in The Phantom Menace. That's probably the most recognizable. But you also have the Separatist Lucrehulk, where basically you've got like the blue Separatist logo and like blue stripes and stuff like that painted on it, which is a little bit more emblematic of the Clone Wars. Now, while it might be more appropriate for a proper Separatist navy to have the blue paint job on the Lucrehulk, I don't think that they will do that. I think they will sell the Lucrehulk in its recognizable form. I think it has a better shelf presence if you've got like this recognizable white Episode 1 The Phantom Menace Lucrehulk. And I think that's also a good time for them to introduce the squadron packs. And if you're looking for more Separatist squadrons, I think Darth Maul in the Scimitar is a really good way to do things. And that's a good time to bring that about, because hey, this could be like the wave that features prominent ships from the Phantom Menace. I wouldn't be surprised if the Republic also gets N1 starfighters in that particular pack as well, because if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff that was featured in Episode 1, then you might as well just they make sense that they kind of fit together. So I think that'd be a really good option. But then again, I could be totally wrong. I'm really just basing all of this off of the cover. There's another thing though. So we talked about the Edit 2 and the extra squadron packs and things like that. We talked about the Lucrehulk. There's a third thing that I think is kind of cool, and I might be right, might be wrong. But if you want to go back, let's go back. You look at this whole thing. I want you to direct your attention up here, right? If you have the rule book, if you've already got one of these, check your own rule book out. But I'm going to zoom in on there, because to me, this might be nothing, but there's a little part of it that makes me think that this is, and again, maybe it's a stretch, but maybe this is an Imperial versus Rebel battle going on. These look like they could be Star Destroyers, or Imperial Star Destroyers. It looks like there could be a Nebulon kind of in the center. Again, it's so small, could be anything. But I like to think that in the distant background, you also see the Empire and the Rebels as a reminder to the viewer that, hey, this isn't just Clone Wars. Hey, we haven't forgotten about the Empire and the Rebels. They're going to get some loving too. And by the time we get to the third one, because then that would be like basically, hey, look, you got wave 10 or wave 9, which was pretty much all Clone Wars. I mean, yeah, you got the upgrade card collection, but it wasn't really new content, right, for the Rebels and the Empire. And the Rebels only had the Starhawk, and that was the only thing they've gotten for 2 years. So like Rebel players are, at least the Empire had the Super Star Destroyer. Rebels are hurting for new content. So you're having this wave, then you're having another wave, which is presumably just those 4 ships. Then it's like, all right, by that wave 3 or wave 11, I think it's time to get the Rebels and the Empire something good. Like that's my thought, And so by having that at kind of in the back corner, really, it's not the center, but it's still there, kind of off in the distance. It makes me think, all right, maybe that's just a little nod to the Rebel and Imperial players that there may be something else coming for the Rebels and the Empire. Maybe we're going to be getting, like, maybe that third wave, that wave 11, will be the first truly the first 4 faction wave that we get. Maybe 1 ship for each faction. I think that would be a good thing for them to do in that wave too. I would love to see it be like a Lucrehulk, maybe a Mandator, or maybe the Architans for the Republic. I think that would be a good one. So maybe a Lucrehulk and Architans, and then, hey, maybe how about an Imperial Venator, right? You've already got the Venator, right? You've already got the model. How about an Imperial Venator? And you know, the Republic or Rebels. How about the Dornian gunship? Right, like again, there's no cues for those specifically, but you know, that's kind of my takeaway from kind of studying the front of this rulebook. Now, this may have, you know, you might disagree. You may think, hey, you know what, it's just art, it's just the battle, it's just the opening of episode 3. You're thinking too much into it. Well, that's what I do. I think way too much into it because I love this game and I'm super excited and I'm super hyped. And when my brain isn't turned to jelly from all of the hype, I try to look towards the future. So, but in the interim, we have a lot of things to look forward to because this holiday season, in addition to all of my giveaways and everything, I'll still be bringing to you the breaking news as it comes. I'm hoping to get a proper announcement article for all of these ships coming soon because we still have not seen them properly announced yet. And if all of the original, you know, dates hold true, this is at least was scheduled to hit streets in January, and that's going to be pretty tough if we don't even know what's going on with, like, if they're not even announced yet. You know, wouldn't that be something if somehow products showed up on store shelves? And of course, you'll probably see it come out of Europe or Australia or something. Some rogue distributor who breaks street date. You'll be like, "Hey guys, I got a Venator. I didn't even know they were making this yet." And I'm like, nobody did because they didn't announce it, at least formally. They kind of teased it at Gen Con. So it'll be pretty interesting. But I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. We also have a winner to give away. So before I close out this video, I want to do a big congratulations to subscriber Baron Bulb. You have just won yourself 2 promos for Star Wars Armada. So this is giveaway number 2. You've got this is a Victory 2 Star Destroyer promo card, ship card of the old size. You're not going to be able to get the full size cards for too much longer since everything's going to the smaller card size now. And then an Imperial 1 Star Destroyer promo card. Now, I want to point out that the laser blasts here are not actually like black and green. It's my green screen turning the laser bolts kind of the starry field behind me. But that makes it look really cool, doesn't it? Like, imagine if your promo looked like that. I know it's out of focus a little bit, but that's a cool effect. I'm having fun. All right, so congratulations, Baron. You won that. So just shoot me an email. You can find that on the About page, my YouTube channel, and we'll get you squared away. And happy holidays to you and everybody else. You've got plenty more chances to win. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, leave a comment, click the bell for alerts. Check links down in the description below if you want to get yourself a cool Chimera shirt or something. You know, we got socks now, we got bags, we got masks, we got gator necks, we got face masks, we got you know, phone covers, all kinds of stuff like that. There's links to all of that stuff down there in the video description below. You know, click that see more, or if you're on mobile, go down over here somewhere. There's going to be like a little arrow that shows you all the links in the video description. You can hop in my Discord that way and chat and ask some questions and be part of the community in there. I got lots of links. All right, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Also, big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. Could not do this without you. Thank you so much, patrons, for your continued support. I'm actually looking at making some modifications to the Patreon program next year, so stay tuned for that. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much, and as always, have a great day.